Blackmagic Design reached out to me and asked me to take a look at some of their products. And the first thing that came to mind was the Speed Editor. Fun fact, when you buy any Blackmagic Design products, it usually comes with a studio license for DaVinci Resolve. A few years ago when I bought my studio license, I didn't know that, and I bought my studio license digitally. Therefore, I missed out on the opportunity to get the Speed Editor along with the license, two for the price of one. Now that I have the opportunity to check out the Speed Editor, it's time to see what I missed out on. Now, unboxing the Speed Editor, it only comes with a Type-C to Type-C cable. So if your desktop or your laptop is like my computer and does not come with a Type-C port, you might want to go and grab one of these Type-C to Type-A converters. However, the cable itself is only used to charge the device because it's actually a Bluetooth-enabled device. So you go into your settings and connect it via Bluetooth. Now, with it being Bluetooth, it would be nice if it had some kind of battery indicator on the Speed Editor itself. However, you can go into DaVinci Resolve Preferences on the control panel. There you can see the battery percentage. Battery life on the device is actually relatively good. I've had it a little over a month and I've only charged it twice. Granted, I did put it through its paces to try to get more of an understanding of how the device works. You can't really edit a whole project with the Speed Editor because it only works in the cut page and the edit page. In Fusion, in the color page, and I think even in Fairlight, only thing I can get to do is use the Jog Wheel to move the playhead. Speaking of the Jog Wheel, it has 3 different modes you can choose from. By default, it comes in jog mode, which is indicated by the middle light. Turning the wheel plays the footage back frame by frame at an accelerated rate depending on how fast you turn the dial. To the left of the jog wheel, you have shuttle mode. You see the red light indicating it's in shuttle mode. With shuttle mode, the more you turn the dial, the faster the playback is, up to 64 times. Then lastly, you have scroll mode, which plays back your footage at more of an accelerated rate, more or less skipping through frames. And while you're on the cut page, if you hit the source button, it brings up all your footage into one timeline in the viewer. Each clip is indicated by a little white line at the bottom of your viewer. You can then, of course, use the jog wheel to scroll through it. I'm gonna put it in scroll mode, scroll through my footage. Using the in and out keys, I can select the in point, then the out point, and then using the pen key to place on the timeline. And I just continue to scroll through all my footage, repeating the same process. So now in the actual timeline, I'm gonna switch this back to jog wheel. Then I'm gonna slowly scroll to the 2 points where the 2 clips meet. Say for instance, if I wanted to trim the clip in, I can use the trim in key and move the jog wheel, or I can use trim out to stretch it out further. Placing my playhead in between the 2 clips, I can hit the transition key and it'll place a default transition. If you click and hold the button, you get access to a menu and select your transition from there. There's some keys that have 2 functionalities. Some of the keys in front of them have a word that indicates what the second functionality is. For instance, the escape key also can undo something. So if I double click, it'll undo the transition. One of the main features I used was the split key. So I scroll through my footage and I hit split, and wherever the playhead is, I can hit rip or delete that footage from the back end, or move it forward and read it from the front end. Double click to undo, undo. Now if I press and hold the split key, it allows me to move clips. So I press hold, my clip will be highlighted, and then I can move it forward or backwards within my timeline. Now going back into my source feed, if I wanted to place like some B-roll footage on top of my A-roll, I can use the key place on top. And then we'll just simply place that footage on top, which like I said, can be my B-roll or some type of image I want to display over my footage. If you want to navigate back to your timeline, instead of using your mouse, you can just hit the timeline key, and that will bring up your timeline in your viewer. I've selected the in and out point. I'm actually hit the key Smart Insert. And so it's going to insert that new clip. Now I want to go to timeline and actually edit that clip. I can hit the timeline button and begin to edit from there, allowing you to continue to work without having to move your hand to the mouse. Now, if you're looking to use the Speed Editor on the edit page, pretty much everything I show for the most part work, with the exception of the source and timeline. They will work, but it's kind of finicky and sometimes it kind of glitches up, at least in my experience. Selecting in and out points and the trim key and the split, all that stuff still works. And some of the secondary functionality and things like that don't work in the edit page, but like I said, it's built for the cut page. And I actually use the cut page to cut down my footage first before I move to the edit page anyway, especially when I have a lot of footage. If it's something more or less smaller, I just do it from the edit page in. All in all, the Speed Editor is a welcome addition to a workflow, especially if you're used to using the cut page anyway. However, I do find it weird that there's no off and on switch. As previously stated, it's a Bluetooth device, so it would be nice to have some kind of off and on switch here to indicate when it's off and on. To cut it on, I pretty much just start mashing random keys and move the jog wheel until the lights come on, which is kind of weird. Now, while the speed editor does speed up your workflow, you can't edit a full project using the speed editor because you'll have to push it to the side, pull out your regular keyboard for anything like the color page, Fusion, or Fairlight, anything like that. There's a lot more functionality and features to the speed editor that I didn't go over in this video. I just want to do a quick overview. If you need more information about the speed editor, be sure to check out the link in the description down below for blackmagicdesign.com. Shout out to Blackmagic Design for giving me an opportunity to check out the speed editor. If you like today's video, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment down below what you think about the speed editor, and subscribe to the channel and hit that post notification bell so you know anytime I upload new content. Until the next video, y'all be easy.